watching Chicago's very own WGN News with Steve Sanders, Allison Payne, and Tom Skilling. This is Chicago's very own WGN Midday News.
In today's Focus on Family, it's not just about brushing. You can actually eat foods to avoid cavities. There are some superfoods that can help keep your mouth healthy. So here now is Dr. Robin Gay from Manus Dental to explain. Thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thank you so much for having me. Basically, the purpose of our visit today is just to kind of go over some foods that patients may not even think about would be good for their teeth.
Well, and there is one that is such a huge surprise. I'm going to save that one till the end. Because
well, it's clearly obvious the foods that aren't good for your teeth.
Okay, and we'll show those over here.
We'll go over that with your sticky candies and your sodas and things like that. But most importantly, we want patients to start thinking about what snacks are good for their teeth and why.
Right.
How often do you snack, the texture of the snacks that you eat, and then most importantly, how long do those snacks actually stay in your mouth? But let's kind of look at some of the things.
Well, one of the things, kids often like to chew gum, and I think as a parent, your first instinct is to say, no, don't do that.
Yeah.
But there really are some that are okay.
There are, and as long as it's a sugarless gum, it's actually wonderful because the chewing mechanism, when you're chewing that gum, it cleans the tooth surface, and surprisingly, it increases the saliva. So that saliva will rinse and actually act as a natural mouth rinse and rinse the bacteria out of your mouth.
Okay, and then there's also xylitol in some of the gums. It says it's good for your teeth. That's true?
Absolutely, and what we're trying to get patients to be aware of is that we don't want them to have the sugary gums.
Right.
So if it has the xylitol, look for that ingredient because it helps.
Now this surprises me. Nuts, I always think of nuts as kind of getting stuck in your teeth and that would keep the bacteria in there.
And that goes back to texture. So we want patients to start thinking about what kind of texture their foods have when they're snacking, because if it's a firm, hard texture, yes, you have to be careful. You know, at Manus, we tell our patients if you have any, when you're eating something hard, even though it's great for the biting surface of your tooth, if you have any sensitivities or pain in the joints, let your doctor know. But other than that, some nuts even have an actual anti-cavity ingredient in them. Yes,
wow.
So nuts are surprising.
And pecans are the ones?
Pecans, almonds, cashews, hard nuts are really actually wonderful. You have to be careful, but they are good for your teeth, surprisingly
and
so.
A handful is also good for your heart as well. So
absolutely, absolutely.
We're killing two birds with one stone there.
Now,
yogurt?
Yogurt surprised me. And yogurt, again, also has a natural cavity-fighting ingredient just built inside of it.
Interesting, because I think of the sugars in a yogurt, and so...
Well, you'd be surprised. The natural sugars in the yogurts aren't so bad. Now, what you have to be careful of is sometimes they put those sugary fruits on the bottom of the natural yogurts, and so that's not so good. So you want to stay away from those. But a plain yogurt is actually wonderful for you.
Wow, okay. And cheese.
Yes, the calcium in cheese is actually wonderful for your teeth as well.
So helps your bones and obviously
your bones as well. And what really surprised me also, but again it goes back to texture, the popcorn.
Okay, this is a big one. Was popcorn good for your teeth? No, it can't be.
Well, okay, we all love popcorn full of butter, and all of those things, but an air-popped popcorn is actually wonderful for your teeth when you think about it. It's a very firm snack, so wonderful for your teeth, so very surprisingly.
Yeah, don't eat those seeds though at the bottom because that'll crack them up.
Absolutely
we also think about vitamin C and some fruits. When I think about vitamin C, I think about it being very acidic in the mouth, but some fruits with vitamin C are actually good for the teeth as well.
Strawberries are wonderful, kiwis wonderful, and those are things that you can do. It helps to promote health of your gum tissue and things like that. So actually, some of your vitamin C, even in your fruit juices, can be wonderful.
You talked about with the gum, it kind of promoting that salivation, and celery does the same thing. Not much of a taste, but yet good for your mouth.
And again, it's kind of a recurring theme, and I'm so glad that you're bringing it up because obviously when you want to have like a natural mouth rinse, those foods that are firm, celery, things like that will increase your salivary glands. And so, yes, it acts as a natural mouth rinse, and it's actually wonderful.
Now, are your natural better, or are you telling your patients to drink a lot of water for the same concept of flushing through?
You know, obviously, water is your best resource. And so we do really encourage our patients to drink lots of water. But just more, we want our patients to start thinking about the types of things that they snack on, when they snack, how often they snack, the textures and things like that. And naturally, going to their doctor and letting them know if they have any problems from eating any of these kinds of foods.
Dr. Robin Gay, some wonderful and surprising advice. Thank you so much for coming in.
You're very welcome, and thanks for having me.
Manus Dental has 7 Chicagoland locations, so for a link to their website and some of these tips, Log on to WGNTV.com/midday.